Who was to walk by and get involved and say, I'm going to do this. I think she'd been trained in America, so, you know, she's crazy good like that. And she got on the job.
So give us a bit of background. Why did this happen?
All right. So this happened in November, 2018. But there had been certain, you know how someone is fighting you and you don't know why the person is fighting you? Sometimes there's a lot of, maybe the person says certain things and does certain things. I wasn't living on the property per se. It's a family property.
So this is a property-related matter? It's
a property, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say that. It's a property-related. He had property to his sisters, their sisters. So my father is married to a Yoruba woman. He was married for over 50 years before he passed on. And in the Yoruba culture, women have access to property. The property is part of their inheritance. But in the Isoko culture, which is my father's culture, it's not done. But my father is a very strong, God-fearing man. And he said, you know what? I'm not going to do this with you. And he says, bros, we can do this. We can just choose not to give them, and it's not a thing. After all, culture supports it. And my dad said, they are not women. They are our sisters. We grew up with these girls. Why wouldn't we give them? I'm sorry, I wouldn't do this with you. So when he said, okay, I know what to do, we didn't realize that a number of years later, it would get ugly like this. If we did, we would have run for our lives a long time ago. Because we didn't want to come. My father was like, well, I've retired. It's important to come and know the culture more. And blah, 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 blah.
So you lived abroad?
No, I did not live abroad, but really away from the family. Yes, okay. Yes. You know, but I've worked over the years.
So this goes back to, I will keep going back to the question of generational family discord. Is blood thicker than water? In this example you've just given, which you've lived.
I've lived. Still living.
You still living?
Yeah, because it's still in court.
Oh, wow.
And all sorts are still happening.
Wow. Okay, so how many people are being impacted by this? Are there younger generations being... So you've talked about your father's generation.
Yes.
And your father has passed, his brother is still alive. But there's your generation, there are the younger generations. How many people are being impacted by this?
Oh, there are several. And there are children involved. Their lives have been shaken up. They've had to move. They've had to change schools 3 times in the last 3.5 years. Because, of course, we're leaving court and it's very clear we're being followed.
Wow.
Yes. Unfortunately, this is Nigeria. We don't have safe houses. So we did our best to be able to live in a place where the prosecutor at the time was telling us, you know what, don't put location when you share anything on social media. You know, just teaching us the things to do in order to remain sort of invincible. So 3 years down the line, he's still witch hunting us. There's still the matter of the property documents that he can't find. He believes is with us. And he's saying, look, I know where you live now. I found you out. So we fished you out. So for 3.5 years you ran away, but we fished you out. So I'm like, so when he said that, the police were like, wow. So you're really the problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's okay. I know.
How do you protect the younger generation from this? Because here's the thing for me. I hear a lot about generational family discord, and a lot of the times in the Nigerian culture, it usually has to do with material things. Usually has to do with property. You know, somebody said something that somebody else didn't like, and it gets transferred onto the children.
The person is dead or long dead, and they're still transferring it.
So you being one of the older people within your family right now, what are you doing to protect the younger generation?
So whatever it is, your educational qualifications, your property, whatever, own your own. Because I look at this and I see the greed, jealousy and greed, they go hand in hand. And it's one of the main reason why this is happening is because of jealousy and greed. Like over the years, somebody is doing stuff to get ahead, get better in life, and you're just sitting back and waiting for the right time. What you're doing is you're joining all kinds of cults so that you have power. and then your both diabolical power, and I'm not kidding you. They went physical because they've been going diabolical for years. But by the grace of God Almighty, we've been shielded by it. So they just got tired and said, these Christians, these born-again Christians that won't die, let's just get all nasty with them. That's the truth, sis. It's my reality. I can beat my hand on my chest and give you dates and times and things that have happened and still happening. It's just by the grace of God that I and my people are alive. So that's what I'm teaching the younger generation. Own your own. First of all, be saved, truly saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, water baptized. Be saved, truly. That's one. Number two, work really hard. Let God bless your efforts and own your own. Don't say so-and-so with a surname, because they share our surname as well. So what your name, your middle name, your grandfather's name, your late grandfather's name. That's it. The only reason my surname is still Uyeye is because that's the name that I've used over the years in the media, in the health and wellness industry, in every industry that my awards are in that name. Otherwise, I would have chopped the name. I know old close friends who face this kind of thing, and they changed their name. They started using their father's name, their father's first name as their surname
to protect themselves.
Because it's serious, sis. It's serious.
Why do you think these things happen? Do you have any insight as to why you think? I know you'd mentioned greed as one of them, but there must be a lot more to it than just greed. Why do you think these things happen? Because it seems to be a way of life in our culture.
In our culture. Aside from greed, just being discontent with your life, unfortunately, you caused it. I mean,
when you say you caused it, what do you mean?
When I mean you caused it as a person, you're seeing the other person and you're like, oh, they're getting on. They're getting ahead. Because before these things happen, like I said, because of what I do for the community, I always brought people from abroad and I work with people from all kinds of cultures. I mean, this was a blessing from Kenya, and so that's what I'm trying to say, that I bring these people. I'm like, no. They work with me, but look, this is what I'm doing for the community. Come on. And I used to introduce them to my uncle. I'm like, uncle, this one is from Germany, and this one is from Kenya, and this one is from, and this is my uncle, so they give him his honor and his respect and all of that. But I didn't realize that I was really causing problems for myself, because they're going,
so there was resentment.
Yes,
when you thought there was love.
I didn't remember that word. That's it. That's from when they were younger.
That's where I was going.
When they were younger. When they were younger, my dad told me, son of 5 children, he has an older sister who's late now. Okay. So he told his father. And
he being your uncle or your dad?
No, my dad.
Okay.
My uncle is the second to the last child. Second son, only other son from that wife. And there's another wife with another son, only one son.
Okay.
Leave. He was content with being a landlord, terrorizing everybody.
But then why would he then resent your father for stepping out and doing his own thing?
Because we came back. Now, all of this that I'm knowing now, it took me time. And then I said, you know what, I'm not going to treat this like family. I'm going to treat it like, as a journalist that I am, I'm going to do investigative journalism, and I'm going to get down to what it is. So we came back. My dad retired, and he made a promise to his father on his deathbed that he would look after the property, 2 properties, and he would make sure everything goes to everyone as it should. Because he said, I have 2 wives. There will be problems. Please, you're the one that left. You're the one that has sense. So he said, oh, I would do that. And I fought against it. I said, Daddy, we can. Okay, so we came back. So that's a problem.
Okay, so
we came back to mess with his throne.
I see. So I want to take this back to the core of it. Values. Yeah. Because everything we do on this show is anchored on values. If you were to advise other people as to how to manage situations like this, what pieces of advice would you give them?
So can I look in the camera when I say this?
Of course you can.
Camera.
You can.
So this is my reality, has been for the last 3.5 years. Of course, it's begun long before 3.5 years, but it's 3.5 years we've been facing all of the fire. I'm going to advise thus, because it's happening again on my mother's side. Same thing, same scenario. Same scenario. The same people that came close to act like they were helping when all of this was happening were just studying because they also had their own agenda and they needed to know, okay, where are they soft? Where can we penetrate? My advice is very simple. Run. Run. Do not pick your slippers. Do not look back. Run. As you're growing older, your core values should be number one. Serve God in truth and in spirit. Don't mix. Don't do diabolic on Monday. Do Jesus on Tuesday. Serve God in truth and in spirit because he's the only one you've got at the end of the day. Then when you are making your acquisition, landed property, whatever, let it be your name. Let it be your name. Your name, your middle name. Then your father's name, because your father will never dog you out. It's not the family name. I just can't change mine anymore because it's sort of late. But if you can, stick with your father. Use your father's name as your
father's first name.
Your father's first name as your surname. Just run for your life. Surround yourself. Listen, family doesn't necessarily have to share your surname. I've got people in my life that stood by me, stood by my family, stood by my children, because I have them, there are many, stood by my children through all of this. And they don't share my surname. They're not even Nigerian. How about that? So, yeah, blood is not always thicker than water.
I'm going to repeat those three things. Run. But when you mean run, you mean put you first.
Put you first. Thank you.
Yeah. Love yourself first.
Yeah. Mental health, very, very important.
Yeah.
Love yourself first. Love Jesus before you love yourself. It's going to help you love yourself better.
Okay. Yeah. Love God, whether it's God, whether it's Allah. Just have a spirit-filled life.
Yes.
Two, you said when you're buying property, when you're buying assets,
put
it in your first name, your middle name, and then you can put it in your father's first name.
Absolutely.
Not your family name.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good piece of advice. And then three, you said, what was the third one you said?
I think that was it. Run, love God, love yourself, and I'm trying to remember now.
There was one more. You said it in passion. So it's okay. It's okay. It'll come to us. But the important thing that you're saying here is, yes, you also said blood is not always thicker than water. Surround yourself
surround your inner circle
with the right people.
Let your inner circle be the right people that share your core values. That is, do they love and respect God in truth and in spirit? Do they love and respect God? Because there's only a man, a woman, a child that does not love and respect God that would do what they have done to us. So God has got to be in the center of their lives. So if that person loves and respects God, you're good. It doesn't matter whether they are Hindu, because I got them. I got Hindu, I got Muslims, and they love God. Yeah.
So the core is loving God. It doesn't matter what religion, but love God at the center of it.
Yeah, let him be at the center.
And surround yourself with a good inner circle.
Yeah, good energy.
Good energy.
Yes.
So how would you then, your nieces and your nephews, what are you telling them? How are you shaping them to not take this with them as they grow older?
Okay, I'm going to break it down to a very typical scenario.
Okay.
So David is the youngest, and he, of course, the youngest only boy among, my sister's children. And his older sister is 2 years. He has two sisters. So Christabel is 2 years older than him, but because she's very much like me, she can put him on her back and baby him sometimes. He's 9 now. And then sometimes he goes rude and he uses language, like maybe shut up or something, and then I don't let it pass unless I'm not there. I check it. Because my father's younger brother, who is 6 years plus younger than my dad, my late dad, did this to him. So I'm like, and I repeat it, you will not be like, I'm not allowed to name names.
Yes,
I'm not going to say his name. Was going to roll out right now.
Yes, you're not.
I'm going to be a good girl. So I would say you will not be like so and so.
But hang
You
on a
will
second.
not.
I want to interrupt you there.
Yes, please.
When you say to a child, you will not be like, aren't you confusing that child? Shouldn't you rather be saying, you will be respectful, you will be polite, you will treat... why do you need to do a comparison?
I don't know.
Because that can get quite
Well,
confusing.
I say those things, that you will be this and you'll be that. But then I say you will not be like so-and-so because he was right there when it was all happening.
I see.
Oh, yeah, all these kids.
They
It's
saw
very-
it from management?
Them or well, my kid
your-
brother has gone through that. He did it for all these years. He went through it. He's getting better.
Begin to shape the future.
Shape the future.
So what are you saying to these children to shape them?
I take them out. I take them out a lot. I let them see things that are different from the trauma they've seen in the last 3.5 years. And I constantly try to re-educate their minds. That look, it will be better. It can be better. It starts with you, and your future is going to be different.
And you can only control you.
You can only control you. To be the best you. And you can't control what the next person is thinking or doing or whatever, but you can be a good example. And then eventually hopefully they'll turn around. Hopefully they will turn around. But just keep doing, keep improving on yourself. And keep
teaching,
ahead.
instilling the right values, teaching them, leading by example.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they know all of that. They see it in me. I tell it to them all the time. I take them away from whatever it is they're seeing constantly. I said, look at this. Look at this. This can be your reality. It starts with you. And they believe
Work
it.
hard.
Yeah, they be, hard work. Oh, they know that. They know I'm a workaholic.
This is actually a topic that can go on forever and ever and ever. And I am so grateful to you that you've been able to keep it succinct, but still quite impactful. Because I really hope that this makes a difference to some people's lives.
I hope so.
And hearing your reality and how you're dealing with it is really quite commendable.
Oh, thank you.
It really is quite commendable.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so grateful that you came today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I'm gonna again go back to the question: is blood thicker than water? We've ascertained now that no, it isn't.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Family is who you make of it, is what you make of it.
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't have to be who you were born with.
Or who shares your last
Or who shares your
name.
last name.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you
so
so much for
having
coming.
me. You've got a great smile. I had to say that. I had to say that. Your smile.
Okay, you're making me blush on live TV. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
So up next, John, Helen, and myself will be rounding up the show. This has been quite intense. It's been an intense few minutes, and I really hope that we've learned something, because like I said to Ambassador Wome, the most important thing is values. Who are you? What do you stand for? So stay tuned for a quick wrap-up of the show with John, Helen, and myself. Thank you.
Wow. Pharaoh, that was... You know, I listened through her story, and I can imagine what she has gone through and her family.
Like Pharaoh says, not awesome today, but intense was the word she used.
And I'm asking, why? Why? Why?
Why?
She gave some reasons.
Yes.
But I'm still asking, why would anybody go to that extent?
You know why? Because John is going to take his nugget now.
Okay, John, go ahead.
So, my nuggets for today, and remember that nuggets are for public speaking. It's a public speaking advisory, like I say. So, my nugget for today is this. So what? Now what? These are two questions on your audience's mind when you speak. So, your audience wants to know, so what? Now what? So when you make your points, when you marshal your points, when you do your presentation, if you're able to answer those two questions, which most times will be topmost on the minds of your audience, you're pretty much home and dry. So always have it at the back of your minds that your audience wants to know, so what? Now what? And that's my nugget for today.
Okay.
Pharaoh.
So
I have
what?
the glasses anyway.
Now what? Thank you.
So what?
Boy.
Now what? So you need to answer those questions each time you face your audience.
Okay.
Intense, yeah?
And next week
Yeah.
will be a
More
different type
intense.
of no. It'll be a different type of interesting, because we're going to be talking about different types of friendships.
Okay.
And we're looking at friendship goals and love and friendship.
Yeah.
So please tune in next week, Saturday, same time, when we talk about yet another topic that has value to our lives.
All right, on that note, it's thank you a million times for having been a part of the show with us today. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.